Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode number 6 of our modded Minecraft All of Fabric 5 series. Today we're going to be working on a mod called Farmer's Delight, which is what we're going to use to finish all the items we need to finish out our barn/kitchen area, as well as set up our fields for our crops that we need for our food. So the first things that we need to do the Farmer's Delight is follow the quest line. And I've already created some of the things. Normally I would show that on camera, but I was having issues today with the quest completions because when I added the sandwichable mod, there was a second diamond knife added. And so when I go to craft the diamond knife from Farmer's Delight, it gives me the diamond kitchen knife from Sandwichable. It's not a big deal. We can work around that. But I did have to do some quest resetting and stuff like that in order to get the completions done on it. But we're going to go through and show the recipes and the items that we crafted for the quest book. So the first thing we made was our stove, which required 3 iron ingots, 1 campfire, and 4 bricks. We'll put that down over here. And we will take our reward. So we got some grilled salmon. That's pretty helpful. Any food items are always very, very nice. The next thing we made, and we're going to put it right next to that, is our cutting board. And I'm just going to put it on a wood block because it makes sense. But you can put it anywhere. You can put it on your counter. You can put it on your floor. You can put it wherever you want. You can put it out in the middle of your field if you wanted to. So the cutting board is made by just using 2 sticks and 4 planks. And we'll take our reward for that. That gives us a slice of chocolate pie and a random reward, which is an andesite alloy, or 16 of those, which is really helpful. We'll use those once we get into create. And then the next thing we needed to make was the series of different knives. And we made all of them except for the netherite knife, because I haven't gotten to the netherite yet. But so they're all made the same way. 1 stick and the item for the blade. So in this case it's flint. And they go all the way up. They do iron, gold, and then the diamond. And as I said in my pack, the diamond knife is not working correctly because it's making the diamond kitchen knife from Sandwichable. But that's okay. So we got all those complete, so we're going to accept our rewards for that. We get a slice of apple pie and a random reward. We get some sushi and a random reward. We get a gold knife, which gives us simple lore and a random reward. And the diamond knife gives us the soul lore and a random reward. So all the extra food is great. There's random rewards. I may actually end up stop using the random rewards because I feel like it takes away from the game. As up till now, I've just been throwing them in a chest back in my storeroom. I think what I'm going to do is when we have a random reward, we're just not going to accept it because I don't really want to use that advance. I can always take them later in the pack when it's not such a big deal. But anyway, so we have all the different knives, we have our cutting board, and we have our campfire. The knives, as far as I can tell, the only difference between the different knives is the different durability they have. I have a mob around that is making noises because something is chanting and terrifying me. Maybe it's just in my head. No, I hear it. Well, we'll have to figure out what's causing that later on. Okay. Sorry, gotten distracted. So the knives have a lot of different uses. One of them is that when you use them to slaughter an animal, sorry for the squeamish, it guarantees you to get the secondary drops from that animal. So in this case, raw mutton is our secondary drop from sheep. We are guaranteed to get all of the drops from that. That works for any of the animals we get. Some of the animals will... We're going to go over and... I think this is a duck. I don't want a duck. I want to find a chicken. But when I find a chicken, I'll show you what I mean. But other thing you can use the knife for is when you cut grass with it, you get the seeds, but then you also get a chance to get straw, which we're going to use. Let's see if we can't find a chicken close by. I guess we'll use a duck. This mod pack might actually have chickens replaced by ducks. I don't know. We got feathers. Didn't give us chicken. Anyway, I was hoping to find some chicken, but we can demonstrate it other ways. So yeah, we got our straw. The other thing that we need to know with the knife for right now is that when we take a log, and I will grab one here on our way back. If I can find one. Oh, coconut logs will do fine. So the way the logs work is if you take a log and put it on a cutting board, and I probably will set up another cutting board so I don't have to do this in the middle of my kitchen, but when you chop it with an axe, or is it a knife? Oh, the coconut log doesn't seem to work. Please stand by. Gotta go get another log. I'll grab a Minecraft log to make sure that that's not an issue. Oak logs. Oak logs are great. Anyway, you take the log and you place it on a cutting board. Like so. And then you right click on it with your axe. Then you get the stripped oak logs, but you also get tree bark. So now the reason we need those items is that our next goal in Farmer's Delight is to get organic compost. The recipe for organic compost uses dirt, and then the straw we get from the grass, tree bark we get from Farmer's Delight. As far as the bone meal, I did set up, oops, that is not what I meant to do. I did set up a small bone meal producer over here. It's just a barrel with a hopper that leads into a composter and another hopper that leads down here. So if we have extra plant items, which we can do large amounts of leaves or something, we can make bone meal that way. But another item that I found that works pretty well, let me go grab it. I should have had it with me, but I didn't. Raw cod. Let's grab that. And while we're here, we'll put our food away. Leave that because I want to look at that. And we'll drop off our random rewards that we don't really want. Oh, we got one more food item in there. So if we go back down to our cutting board in our barn, I can demonstrate with the raw cod that you can get bone meal from certain food items when you butcher them. I was looking for chicken because I know from a chicken, when you butcher it, you also get bones, but this one works to demonstrate it. When you cut up a cod, you get cod slices and you get bone meal. So that's a pretty simple way to get extra bone meal. But so the reason that we want to do all this is the organic compost, when it's out in sunlight, turns into rich soil. So organic compost, given sped up by sunlight, it can be sped up by water, or it can be sped up by having certain activators. All of these things nearby will turn it into rich soil. And so over time, just having it out in the sun will eventually turn it into rich soil, but all these other things can be used to speed that process up. Rich soil can be tilled into rich soil farmland, which is used to do a couple of things. One is it speeds up the growth of crops, which is great, and it also cannot be trampled like regular farmland, which is also great, because then I don't have to worry about accidentally destroying my farmland as I go around. So I'm going to work on collecting a bunch of resources from various sources that I was showing you to get bone meal and tree bark and straw so that we can make a large amount of organic compost and start designing and building our farming area for all the different crops that we want to have for our food. And then we'll start growing some food and making some different food items using the Farmer's Delight mod. And we're also going to get into the Sandwichables mod today. So I'll be back once we have a little progress done. I have come up with a design for the farmlands that I want to use. And it's going to take quite a bit of time to get all the rich soil I need, because it's a slow process to make organic compost and even slower to get it to convert. But that's fine. We have plenty of time. This farm over here, I just have regular farmland with crops growing on it. And I planted a bunch of wheat so that I can use the wheat to breed the animals. And I can also use the seeds to make more bone meal, to make more organic compost. But the layout that I'm going to use is I'm going to do a 3x3 grid of these little croplands on this side, and then I'm going to probably do on this side, I'll do smaller sections where I have just different crops that are like food ingredients for different recipes that I'm going to make, because there's a lot of seeds from Croptopia and from Sandwichable and from other things that I'm going to need spaces to grow different things. So over here we'll have smaller sections of specific ones where I can come over and bone meal them as I need them. And then these will just be crops where I want to grow large amounts. So probably, I'll have a couple of wheat fields to help with breeding animals and stuff like that. But I'm going to finish off camera making the rest of this laid out so that I have the entire farmland placed. Over here, I've started designing what I want to do for like a hedgerow that goes along the building. And then it's going to go out and define the edge of our farm. So that's starting to come together. I think it's looking okay. May make some changes to it as we go. I definitely want to change up the paths to be a little more distinct than just the regular paths, but it's a good start. As far as making the organic compost, I set up another cutting board over here next to my trees, and I've been growing trees and cutting leaves, so I'm using the logs to get tree bark, and I'm using the leaves and extra other compostables to make bone meal so that I can use the bone meal in the recipe to make our compost as we go. Let all these trees grow here so I get a lot of leaves out of it, but we'll come back to that. Inside my storeroom, I made a bit of a machine. I have my furnaces that were over here, so what I did is I made some pipes and I connected a servo to pull out of this barrel, and in this barrel I'm putting in tiny charcoal, and right now I have all of these just making charcoal and a few other things that I was just converting to make some space, but mostly I'm making some charcoal just to fill up a backlog of it. The reason I need the charcoal is for two reasons. One, I just want to have a large amount of fuel supply for these furnaces so that I can keep smelting things as I need it on demand. So basically the way this works is I just make some tiny charcoal, I throw it in here, and I keep doing that until it's full. It's very just done by hand kind of thing, nothing super automated yet. Eventually I won't be using this, so I'm not going to spend too much effort into automating everything, because we'll be switching over to electric power sooner rather than later. But the other reason that I wanted the charcoal is because I'm going to have to go do some more mining soon, and my steam mining drill was out of fuel last time I used it, so I need something to fuel it. So I can use the charcoal and fill up my steam mining drill, and it'll last quite a while. I can also take the charcoal and turn it into charcoal blocks, which will make it last even longer. So we're taking some of the wood that we're cutting down from the trees that we're using to get all of the ingredients for the bark and everything, and we're converting those into charcoal. So pretty fancy. I think that what I'm going to do is continue working on the quest book for the different food mods, and we'll get to the expanding the farmland as we need it. We'll keep harvesting wheat and other crops as we go. You can see already this section that has the rich farmland grows a lot faster than the side over here. So I can harvest this and get a lot more out of this little section. There's a couple spots in here that are still organic compost that are converting, but as soon as they turn into rich farmland, I till them and put more seeds down. So we'll expand this area as we go, and it'll make it go even faster. And then once I have one section here done, I will convert these different areas to rich farmland as well. But it is a very slow process without any kind of automation. So I'm going to come back once I do some more just clean up on my inventory from all the stuff I've been working on with these different things, and I'll come up with a plan for finishing out some more of the quest book for Farmer's Delight and getting started with the sandwichable mod pack, or mod from this pack, that I want to finish off the episode with. So I'll be back shortly. As you may recall, there was a building here that I was debating about what to do with a little bit. It was a little cartographer's villager building. It looked really neat and I liked it, but in the end I decided that I didn't build it, so I don't want it here. I want to build my own stuff. So I removed it. So I am cutting everything down here, and I'm going to quick make a chest so I can put all this stuff aside. Let's see, where's my wood? There we go. Make a double chest, set it aside here. Just so we can get it up off the ground and it's not there despawning. We've done a little bit more mining to get some more resources. I've done a little bit more farming to start getting more compost. But I'm going to take a break from doing all of that, and I'm going to start building our kitchen supplies to continue on with the Farmer's Delight mod quest line. So I'm just gonna get this out of here so it's out of the way, and we'll keep working on expansion over the course of time, probably before the next episode, maybe just throughout, a little here, a little there, as we need the space. But the next thing I'm going to work on is getting all those materials together that I need to continue with the quest line, and then I'll come back to you once I have it all together so we can do all the crafting together on camera. So I'll be back once I have everything ready to go. It didn't show me making this on camera, but I wanted to show you a new tool I made. It's called a Paxel. It is made by combining all the different tools into one, and so then it can do mining, it can chop wood, it can dig, it can be used as a hoe, and it can be used as a sword, all in one. The other thing that's cool about it is that once it breaks, it gets down to 0 durability. It just stays in your inventory, and then you can repair it. So you only ever have to make it once. You can also, let's see, make them in every different vanilla flavor. So right now I have an iron one. Eventually I'll probably make a netherite one, just to have a general tool to use. But it does take enchanting levels to repair it. Eventually I'll probably do some enchanting and get it like mending and fortune and all those good things, just to try it out. But what I did here is I took the glowstone lamps, the redstone lamps that I got from that building I tore down, just put some light down so that my trees can grow over here. I'm still working on collecting lots and lots of wood to make charcoal. So I just do that periodically as they grow. That way I'm not wasting bone meal on doing it, because bone meal is something I very much need. Of course, I just wasted a bunch there, but that's okay. And the same with the bone meal. I just throw in excess crops I have over time. So they're all projects that are sort of in progress, and we're working on them as we go. But I wanted to show you that, so I'll be back. I have gathered the resources I need to finish off a few quests, so we're going to make some items here together and see how they work. So, first of all, the rope. I actually had some that I got from, I don't know where, a chest probably, but to craft it, it's very simple. It's just 3 straw, makes 3 rope. So let's make a little bit more of it. We're going to need it. The rope is another one of the Terraria inspired items in this game, and it's pretty neat. If you see, you can put a rope down, and then when you put rope on it, it extends the rope all the way down to the ground. And then when you climb up, when you are on rope, you just look up and down to climb up and down. Let's break it from the top. It does, however, not break like you would think a rope would, where if you break the top, the rest of it disappears. But that's okay. There's gonna be some uses for it for sure. I'll show off some more of those later. But the next thing that we need to craft for our quest, we will take the stone, but we're gonna leave the random award, is safety nets. Safety nets just use 4 rope. And let's see. So we're gonna craft a couple of safety nets. We'll do 4. And we'll actually use the ropes to demonstrate how they work. Because I'm going to use the ropes to get up onto the... Oops, that's not what I wanted. We'll use the ropes to get up on the roof, and I'll put the safety net right here. So you use the rope to get up. This isn't super high, but they basically work kind of like slime blocks, but they completely negate fall damage, which is pretty fancy. Okay. You can, however, use vein mine to remove the whole rope, which is pretty fancy also. So let's check out the next step. And again, we'll take the granite, but we're going to leave the random reward. Baskets are made using canvas and bamboo. So, to make the canvas, I don't quite remember how to make it. Canvas is this one. It's just 4 straw. Oh yeah, that's why I have 4 straw like that in my inventory. That's silly of me. Okay, so then we are going to make our basket. It uses bamboo, but I had found some of that while we were exploring. So baskets are really interesting. They are items where there are blocks where you can store items like a chest. But the unique feature of them, put this one upside, facing upside. They also work like a hopper. So let's get above it again. I'm going to really enjoy playing around with these ropes once I get the hang of them. So if you throw something above a basket, it works as its own hopper. It will pull stuff into its inventory, just like a real basket would in real life, which is really fancy. And then when you break it, you get all the items back, just like a chest. And then baskets can be placed on any surface. They can be facing sideways. You can even face upside down. I don't know how that would work as far as the hopper functionality. I don't know if I can throw stuff up into a basket. Looks like I can, which is kind of interesting. We may find some interesting uses for that. But so that's the basket. The last thing we want to make, and it's the most important one for this mod, is the cooking pot. So to make it, we need a bucket of water. We already have our iron and our clay. We we need to make a wood shovel. Wood shovel is functioning as, I guess, a spoon to stir things. Okay, so the cooking pot is a pretty big important block in Farmer's Delight. I think you can go on top of a stove to heat it. Sure can. But you can also put it on a campfire, which is what I want to try out. Which means I need to get some charcoal. Well, we'll leave it here for now just so I can show the functionality of it. Brought some bowls. But so if you go here and look at the recipes for cooking, there's all kinds of different recipes, and you put them in to the cooking pot and you get certain recipes back out. And so this is where the main focus of this mod is, to make different foods. So you can see we already have made minced beef. We would need to make raw pasta and tomato sauce, and we can make pasta with meatballs. And these meals that are plated, see how it says nourishment or comfort? You get different rewards for making them. The stews give you comfort. The plated dishes give you nourishment, which keeps it so you don't lose hunger for a period of time. So they're very, very helpful. Some of the drinks remove harmful effects, which I think is why the milk wasn't removing my bad omen in the other episode, because in this mod pack you actually have to take the milk and turn it into something else like hot cocoa to do that. So I'm trying to think of a very simple recipe we could try out based on what we have, but I don't think I have any of the ingredients for everything yet, so I will have to take a look and find something for us, and we'll show that off a little later. But one thing that's also very unique about the cooking pot is you can put ingredients in the cooking pot, and then when you break the cooking pot, it keeps its ingredients and you can move it around, which I think is really neat, because that's how you would have a real cooking pot in real life. You could move it from one stove top to another without any problems. So that's going to be a big focus on our cooking for the Farmer's Delight mod. The next things I'm going to work on is the ones that we originally started here with Blockhead. I want to get all of these things set up, so I'm going to go collect all the resources for that, and then we will get those set up too. I did make a campfire to put the cooking pot on. I wasn't sure I was going to like the way that looked, because I thought the cooking pot would just float over the campfire, but they did think of that, and they made it so that it changes the model of the campfire, and there's a stand on it. I think it looks really cool, so I'm going to go with that. You do need to use bowls and stuff like that in the cooking pot, so we'll probably make a cupboard or something to put those in. We'll check out some of those options later. The other thing that's really cool is the cooking pot, since it uses the campfire or like a stove, and there's several other blocks like magma blocks or other things that it can sit on to provide heat, or just like an open fire. It doesn't require any fuel to cook. It just has heat. It does its thing. As long as it's heated, it'll make its recipes for you. When I was doing that, I realized that my recording is already up to 27 minutes. I'm trying very hard to keep my Minecraft episodes below 30, so we're gonna save the cooking for blockheads and the sandwich rolls into a third episode on food. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in the next one, or if I'm going to take a break and work on some more tech stuff, but those will be the next two things I work on, finishing up the food quest lines, or at least some more of them, and then the more on modern industrialization. So I hope you enjoyed watching the episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.